Welcome everyone to the fourth round of the Asian Championships 2022. Praggnanandhaa with the black pieces takes on India's latest grandmaster Pranav Anand. But what is the knight doing on a2? Pranav chops it off. Pragg moves in with his rook, queen h4. Wait a minute, that was just too quick. Let's back up a bit. Why did Praggnanandhaa play his knight to a2? The knight was on b4. But Pragg realized that White's last move g5 was a very powerful one. He wants to open up the king side. If he takes here, the bishop enters, and with the knight, bishop and the queen also coming in, it could become really dangerous. That's the reason why he decided to distract the knight on c3 with the move knight a2. Believe it or not, it's the best move on the board, because now after knight a2, rook gets the e2 square. Pranav instantly went queen h4, and we are now back to the game. Pragg is a piece down but has activity on his side. Pragg is now thinking, what is it that he should be playing? He has a few moves at his disposal, but one is a winning move here. The move is knight to g6, hitting the queen, and once the queen moves, to take the pawn on b2. However, Pragg seems that he has not found it. He wants to move his rook there, but that doesn't seem to be the right move. Knight g6 is the best move. He takes on h2, and Pranav instantly plays queen g4, which is the best move in the position. Now the difference is that if you go and chop the pawn on b2, then after g at 6, it's already a very strong attack. That's the reason why Pragg moves his knight to g6. He tells Pranav, look, you have an extra piece, I agree, but look at the quality of my pieces. They are so good. Pranav now once again finds the best defensive move with f4, and he's in the game. Piece is after all a complete piece here. Material is material. Pragg moves in with his other rook on the 7th heaven. Look at these rooks. There's a threat of rook g2, maybe. The queen is for now defending it, but also the bishop on d2 is hanging. Now the best move here is knight to c3. However, Pranav takes the pawn on h6. This is a mistake, because Pragg can now go in and chop off the pawn on b2. For example, if you take here queen d4, bishop e3 and queen e3 is actually a checkmate that will happen. So Pragg somehow does not find this move queen b2 and instead plays queen d8. It's very important to now control the h4 square and play bishop e1, but Pranav has only 10 seconds on clock. Both players have very little time, and he plays knight c3. But he has missed the next move of Pragg. Can you find it? Pragg has only 26 seconds to find it. The move here, and Pragg has seen it. His idea is to distract the queen from g4 so that rook g2 is a mate. Yes, he finds queen h4. What a move, because if you take, he's not going to take the queen back. He's going to checkmate you with rook g2. 32 moves have been completed, 8 more moves to make with 10 seconds on clock. It's such a tough position. It's humanly very difficult to find the best moves when you have so little time. Pranav takes the rook. Now he's going to win 2 rooks over there, but Praggnanandhaa will recover his piece because the knight on h5 is hanging. So he takes on e2. Pranav now takes back. He has a minute now on the clock, but Pragg is in a better position. He takes on h5 here. If you notice the position carefully, 2 rooks are there for the queen. Both sides have a knight and bishop. But in such positions, the problem often is the exposed white king. And that is what is going to lead to Pranav's downfall. Pragg now can go simply knight h4 with the ideas of mating attacks. Yes, he finds the move knight to h4 with very little time on the clock. He's managing to find some good moves there. For Pranav now, it's a matter of trying to survive and hope that his opponent makes some error before they reach the 40th move. 36 moves have been completed, 4 more moves to make. Pragg has only 10 seconds once again, and now he plays queen takes h6, a safe move, taking off the pawn. Pragg believes in his position. He knows that with such an exposed king, he doesn't have to sort of go in and win the game instantly. He can take his time. Knight goes to g3. stopping the knight from coming to f5 here. So the knight is well placed on g3. We are on to move number 37 with Pragg having just 7 seconds left. Again, the best move is found, queen f6, putting pressure on the d4 pawn. Pranav has to defend the d4 pawn. He goes bishop to c3, just supporting the pawn. And now in such positions, guys, when there are 2 more moves to make before 40 moves is reached, you want to play it safe. You want to play moves like maybe something like g6, just very solid. Look at Pragg with just 8 seconds on the clock. He plays one of the most risky moves in the position, g5, because he's seen if he takes queen g5, attacks the knight and along with the bishop. Therefore, Pranav can't do it. He plays knight e2. But this is what makes Pragg such a dangerous opponent. He is always able to trust his instinct, make the most ambitious moves there. He takes the pawn. 39 moves completed. The most important point here is you can't take the pawn because after bishop f4, rook f4, check, and it's a mate on g2 or you lose the rook. That's the reason why Pranav can't take it. He plays king to h1. 40 moves have been completed. Last move for Praggnanandhaa before the time control. Once again, going down to the last 10 seconds, but this time Pragg knows that the move is going to play is going to give him a winning position. He plays f3, and now you can see Pranav gets up from the board. He takes his banana. He wants to eat something, gets refreshed. The clock reaches 0 and then 30 minutes are automatically added. Pranav is thinking for nearly 10 minutes. Pragg has been sitting on the board trying to figure out how to finish off the position. He knows he's winning there. Knight g1 played. And Pranav now goes away from the board. Pragg takes his time, maybe 4 to 5 minutes, thinking about how to complete this attack. Well, the king is actually trapped here on h1 and Pragg goes queen h6, just setting up this battery against the king. Also, the rook can't come to h2 because the bishop is controlling that square. So this looks almost gone. There is no way to stop a discovered attack on the king. Maybe you can bring in your knight to h3, but that's not going to help. He goes bishop d2, which is actually a good move. So now the queen is attacked. Pragg can just move the queen up the board to h5 here. Doesn't seem like anything's happening there. Yes, he plays queen to h5. And by the way, if you're not careful, knight g2 is just a checkmate over there. So after knight h4, you can already sense from Pranav's posture that he has given up. Meanwhile, Pragg very excitedly moving back and forth. He knows that the game is very close to winning for him. And now you need to be careful, because if you go knight g2 trying to think that you want to win, then rook takes f3 is hanging. So first bishop g3 played. Good move. Attacking the rook here. Creating also some threats of knight g2 in the air. Yes, white can pin the bishop here, and maybe that's what Pranav has to do, because there's nothing much more that he can do. He has 15 minutes here, but the game was already decided under time pressure. He goes rook g1, trying to pin the bishop there, and now carefully Pragg can win in two ways. He can play knight f5 defending his bishop, or he can go knight g2. Knight g2 definitely looks very pretty. He plays his knight there, and now you can see the h3 knight cannot be defended. It's over here. Pranav stretches his hand in resignation, and Praggnanandhaa has won a beautiful game with a very nice attack. Pranav defended very well. He asks Pragg about some analysis, and Pragg says, let's go out and analyze this. This is a very interesting game that we played, and there's a lot that can be learned from it. But clearly, a game between two amazing talents of Indian chess ends in victory for Praggnanandhaa. Well played by Pranav, but Pragg was the better player.